On this year's big reunion, 6 colossal combos from the 90s and noughties rise from the pop ashes to perform at a massive one-off exclusive gig of a lifetime.
I'm quite apprehensive. I'm not 18, 19 anymore.
But after a decade-long estrangement, can they get their act together in time?
This is not going to happen. We're going to just be a band that doesn't dance.
But I think we're going to surprise a few people.
Am I ready? We'll see. We'll have to be ready.
This is the big reunion. Previously on the big reunion, it was boom and bust for Girl Thing.
We were Simon Cowell's new big thing.
There was rows, catfights, the lot.
Eternal had a ding-dong.
She made a statement of, well, you know, at this point, I'm just staying for the money.
From the outside, it just seemed like Kelly's got issues.
And A1 and Damage were a man down.
It was a rash decision, to be really honest.
We were left in the lurch.
Paul leaving was definitely the catalyst in the split-up of the group.
This week, we focus on our supergroup Fifth Story, a mighty pop pentagon whose 5 equal sides are Gareth Gates, Dane Bowers, Adam Rickett, Kenzie and Kavana. When these pop beasts first roamed the earth, they amassed a stupefying 27 top 10 hits, including 6 number ones. First up, it's Gareth Gates. Ex-choir boy Gareth was a shy lad with immobile hair and a speech impediment when, in 2001, he auditioned for a new TV show.
Entering Pop Idol for me was quite a scary, daunting prospect. And the thought of having to speak on television was more scary than anything else.
My name is...
When they asked me my name, I was like, oh, brilliant, here we go. So I was like, you know, we all saw it.
Gareth Gates.
Soon we all knew his name. As the nation clutched him into its collective bosom, he became the hot favourite to win Pop Idol. And he made the top 2 in a final watched by over 12 million people.
The winner is Will!
Despite having his ass roundly whipped by Will Young, Gareth became the youngest male to go straight into the chart at number 1 with Unchained Melody. He went on to top the charts 3 more times, selling over 5 million records worldwide, whilst his debut album went double platinum.
I had lots of girls throwing themselves at me, which was, which was a really nice feeling.
The bashful boy from Bradford became a huge hit with the ladies, and he soon found out that fame would come at a price. Katie Price, that is.
We saw each other for about 3 or 4 months, and it was fun. She's a really lovely, lovely girl.
At first, he denied it, but when the public found out the truth, Gareth's career would take a nosedive.
I denied the whole Jordan thing simply because I was 17. I didn't want my family to read about my sex life. I think if I hadn't had lied, it wouldn't have been as big a deal. And, family, friends, fans wouldn't have felt as let down, I guess.
Our second member is Dane Bowers. Dane was a troubled kid from Croydon who'd been booted out of 3 educational establishments before finding his feet at the Brit School.
I wasn't at Brit School to sing, I was doing drama. I did have a pair of tap shoes and I did have a leotard.
But Dane was destined to live a leotard-free existence.
We didn't actually audition to be a band. I mean, I got into it through Wayne, and he had already met the other 2 and was talking to a record label and already in discussions of what he wanted to do and putting a band together.
That band became another level. In reverse alphabetical order, Wayne, Mark, Dane and Boback, who signed to Cool BMG offshoot Northwest Side Records.
The only people on our label were us, Jay-Z and NSYNC. It led to us obviously having Jay-Z on our first single, which was phenomenal. At the time, I don't think people realised how big it was.
Another level. Jay-Z.
We released Be Alone No More as a white label. We were #1 on every R&B chart. Everyone thought we were a black American group. And then to turn that into, you know, a top 10 hit for our first single, being an R&B song, which at that time there was none.
Pervoramic's second single, Freak Me, did even better.
This is a brand new #1 from Another Level. See ya.
So when Freak Me came out and went to #1, and we actually went on Top of the Pops, I lost my mind.
The band were now officially chart big shots, stampeding into the top 10 7 times in a matter of 2 years. Their first album went platinum, their second went gold, and they were hanging out with pop royalty.
Janet Jackson tour for us was amazing. I mean, what a tour to do. We were personally asked to be the only support act, which was amazing. And it was 32 dates around Europe, I think, over about 3 months.
Dane became renowned as a keen rumpo advocate who was fond of the odd shandy.
And I did have fun with the odd glamour girl here and there. The women and the drink is definitely something that I can have to put my hands up to. I mean, I could drink for England.
But soon, the cracks in the band started to show.
Sometimes I did feel like the group revolved around me, which was wrong. It never did. But I was a bit of a dick back then.
Another Level's one-way ticket to pop oblivion came as a shock to Dane.
We split up in our solicitor's office without even knowing about it. We all went to speak to our solicitor about a deal or about a contract, and Wayne just sat there and goes, "Look, guys, I'm going to say I'm leaving the band." Out of nowhere. We were like, what? I didn't want Another Level to end. I think it was way too soon. I think we were on the verge of being big. We weren't big yet. We were good, but we could have been massive.
After Another Level's tragic demise, Dane went on to solo notoriety, most notably when punished by Victoria Beckham in Out of Your Mind.
We went to Magaluf, and I had Victoria in the middle of the dance floor in a furry bra, MCing while I was DJing. Oh, yes.
But after a record label shake-up, Dane was dropped.
I don't think they were that bothered about kind of pushing me. I wasn't a huge star, you know, I wasn't breaking any records. We just said, look, let's leave it. And that for me was a hard point, because from there, it's like, now what do I do?
This tune's gonna punish you.
Stepping up for his first taste of life in a group, what could possibly go wrong? It's Kavana. Manchester-born Anthony Kavana was flipping burgers when he got his big break at the age of 16.
Working at McDonald's at the time, I wanted to be a pop star. I found out that the manager of Take That was in Manchester. He had an office there, Nigel Martin-Smith. So I made this demo tape, found where his office was, went down to the office, and in that split second, Nigel Martin-Smith happened to walk through. Couldn't have been better timing. He's like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, what are you doing?" He just went, "Give it here," like that. He took it off me.
Cav was signed up, but not just for his beautiful face and luxuriant hair.
Because I was also a writer, I got a record deal and a publishing deal. So you get an advance. So you're talking, there was 300 grand there straight away in my account from nothing. The first thing I did with that money was buy a house for me and my parents. It was amazing to be able to do that. After, you know, 10, 12 years in this council house, to suddenly be on this nice little posh estate with this little house.
But it was a breakthrough cover of Shalimar's I Can Make You Feel Good that propelled Cav to true success.
I was this little cheeky, manky northern lad. Smash Hits, they really had me as their, you know, poster kid in a way. I was in every issue, I got loads of covers.
He's a cutie rather than a QC. He is Kavana.
He was invited to some swanksome soirees like the Brit Awards, where he got his first taste of excess.
This guy just come up to me and he went, "You all right, mate?" I was like, "Yeah." He went, "Yeah, take this." And he gave me a little pink pill. And I was like, "What's that?" And he went, "Just try it. It'll make you feel good." And I did. Champagne. It was ecstasy. That was the first time that I'd really experienced that drug. The next morning, I had to film the video for MFEO at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I woke up, I was still off my head. And I'll make you see what MFEO. If you see the video now, you can see I'm like really like, yeah. MFEO.
But for the teenage Cav, it was tough nearish the top, especially when he parted with his manager.
It was getting a bit uncomfortable with Nigel. He wasn't really calling me back. I just felt he was not interested in me. And then he went and took on this bloody guy from Coronation Street, Adam Rickett. And I'm like, focus on me. You know what? I was jealous. I was jealous.
When the hits became as sparse as Adam's wardrobe, there was a drawn-out parting of the ways with his record company.
They settled, and I took the money and went to America with it. Goodbye, England. It's over.
Muscling his way into our man band is former Blazing Squad linchpin, Kenzie. James Kenzie was just 15 when the squad started blazing. He and 9 schoolmates clubbed together to record a demo with some producers at a Walthamstow studio. And word of their garagey sounds soon spread.
I'm in geography with Marcel, who was Rocky in the band, and me and him were like, the producers want to meet us. We just walked out of school, bunked the train, went to the studio, and there was a guy from Warner Brothers there. He was like, "I really like what you're doing." We're like, "Whatever, mate." Like, yeah, within 2 weeks, we signed like a £500,000 record deal at 15.
Their debut was a reboot of the 1996 signpost anthem Crossroads by US hip-hopsters Bone Thugs and Harmony.
We didn't want to do Crossroads. We're like, what? What's that? We don't even know we don't even know this music. This isn't our music. So, but they're in a situation, well, you can either do that or go back to school. So we released Crossroads August 2001. It went to #1 on Sunday, and I went to school on Monday. So we'd get, I remember you'd have 3 mercs waiting outside school for us, blacked out mercs. We'd finish school uniform and get in the cars, it was weird.
With a #1 hit on their hands, the lives of these Essex boys changed overnight. The lads soon got a reputation for bad behaviour, especially once they trashed their first hotel.
Oh, we smashed the place to pieces. Not in an aggressive way. No, we weren't like throwing. Let me rephrase that. I think when we got in trouble, is a window fell out of one of the rooms. It wasn't mine. The label even turned around and said, "You've got to bum yourselves down a bit on these after parties," because it started to make the papers and that. 10 young 16, 17-year-old, but we're not going to go to bed, go for dinner and then go to bed, are we?
In 2004, with 6 top 10 smashes under their belts, Blazing Squad were riding high. But due to poor sales of their second album, the boys were dropped by their label, and that was the end of Blazing Squad.
We ended on top 10, arena tour. That's a good way to end. Our last performance of Crossroads in Ireland, I cried. I remember that, going backstage and crying because it was sad and it was the end of an era. We toured the country, we toured the world. We did a hell of a lot in 3 years, and no one can take that away from us.
Fifth member Adam Rickett became a pin-up thanks to his role in Coronation Street. After leaving school, Adam replaced Kavana as the new pet project of a certain Nigel Martin Smith, who got him a plum job on ITV's top-rating soap. As the second manifestation of Corrie's answer to Doctor Who, Nick Tilsley, Adam's life changed overnight when he became the lust object of a nation of teenage girls.
It should have been every boy's dream, getting 2,000 fan letters a day, pictures of naked women in the post.
Due to his on-screen hostility to clothing, Adam was labelled a himbo.
I knew, and I knew that everybody else knew, that I was on there purely to bring in the girl ratings. I literally became, like, you know, a piece of Play-Doh. God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Just hope there's nobody here, that's all.
You'll be fine. Just one piece of advice.
What?
Forget about your body.
Right, yeah.
OK, some 3-minute poses to begin as warm-up for the long pose.
Press officer walked in, and I was half naked, and she sort of went, "Oh, we're using that." So literally, they went out and they got some tyres, which were lying around, and they got me to stand in some tyres. That became people's fixation, was this whole six-pack thing. I do what bloody everyone told me. And no matter how embarrassing it was, or how much this inner part of me was screaming, "Oh my God, you look like a cock," I would do it because I wanted to please them, and it didn't matter because it wasn't the real me.
And the press was soon asking, is the real Adam gay?
I guess because I'd been comfortable with my sexuality, I'll flirt my arse off with gay blokes. It doesn't bother me. The thing is, if I'm gay, I'd just say, well, screw you, I'm gay. What are you going to do about it?
As his profile rocketed, Adam left Corrie peckless and signed a multi-million-pound record contract. He got his big moment in the pop spotlight with I Breathe Again, which wasn't exactly Radiohead.
It was just shockingly bad. It was the gayest thing you've ever seen in your life. When they put me in this glass box, originally I had like hot pants on, flesh-coloured hot pants. And for like the first 3 hours of filming, all I could see was them all whispering. Going, I was like, is there something wrong? And they were like, we can see your hot pants. So I just went, oh, fair enough, and just took my pants off in front of everyone.
Adam wasn't too upset when his follow-up singles failed to repeat its success.
I did one single, it was a big success, and I hated every moment of it. All the time I did the pop music, I only got to sing live once. It was just a case of promotion, 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 which for me was basically kit off, kit off, kit off, kit off. And nowadays, it is about doing the music, it is about performing. Whereas when, you know, back in my day, it was to do with how many column inches could they get.
Coming up, Eternal give their reunion a good mulling over.
Is she going to actually say some of these things to our face? That would be really interesting. Yeah. I think that's going to be awkward.
And Fifth Story debates dark times.
The hardest part of my life ever, I think, was being close to that rape charge thing.
I haven't been the best husband, made mistakes, and I'm certainly not proud of that.
Am I attracted to guys? Yeah, I am.
Taking to the stage again in just a few weeks are the 5 90s and noughties pop heroes who've combined their not inconsiderable talents to form supergroup Fifth Story.
At the time, there was a lot of solo artists around, and you can't have a big reunion with yourself.
In terms of working as a group, that's quite a daunting thing.
This is massively stepping out of the comfort zone for me.
I'm scared to death. I don't know these guys from Adam.
Put all those tracks together and you got one messed up group.
Today's a big day for the famous five. They're meeting up for the first time and hitting the town to size each other up on a boys' night out.
Nobody knows, you know, how big this is going to be, or not. Yeah. You know, so I think for now we just have fun with it.
I did look up everyone. Yes, and we've done some stuff between us. I know these two. I never heard anything negative about you two. Whenever
we met briefly before.
Yeah, whenever I met you.
That was never my issue either when I got told the names. I never once thought these are going to be bad people. Never heard a bad word, which is helpful because you know it makes life a hell of a lot easier if everyone gets on, doesn't it?
We're going to get slated no matter what.
Yeah.
Has-beens, you know, last chance saloon, giving it, you know, whatever.
But, and?
As long as I don't have to wear a black rubber coat, biker boots and a cowboy hat.
Did you have to wear that?
Yeah, it killed me.
When was that?
Bomb diggy.
After the demise of his solo career, Dane was at a loss of what to do next.
That period for me is just like, where was I? Like, I just don't know where I was. I was depressed. I just felt like I got lost in it all, really. I did a few bits and pieces, and DJing kind of kept me afloat, but I was really low. Money-wise, really low. And if I'm honest, you know, there's been times my dad, he's paid my mortgage.
These days, Dane dips his toe in artist management and spins platters that matter as a club DJ.
My face is still familiar to people to the point where a normal job for me is not possible. It's hard, and you know, going from that, having everything, to really trying to struggle to find money to live, to get some clothes or to get some shopping, it's, you know, crushing, really.
The one-time bad boy has found love and settled down with knitwear enthusiast fiancée Sophie. The only obstacle in his way is his torn Achilles tendon.
People do just assume that I'm this party animal that goes with loads of women and whatever else, and little do they know I'd get my butt kicked.
Yeah, definitely. You're under the thumb now. But I think it's going to be refreshing now because you are older. You know, spring chicken anymore.
Dane is close to his mum and sister, and in recent years he and the family have been put through hell by the tabloids.
The press have never been that good to you, I don't think.
When people Google me now, it says things like racially aggravated assault, conspiracy to commit rape, which people read as rape. There was the drug thing, the sale of drugs and all of that, and every single one of those was dropped. The press, as you know, they wouldn't write the story of I'm innocent.
That's the big thing with This Is Why I think this is the big thing, just for you to be able to voice what has happened.
The hardest part of my life ever, I think, was you know, getting accused of, well, not even getting accused of rape, but being close to that rape charge thing.
It does affect all of us as a family because we know it's not true.
An allegation that's anything connected to something like rape is just crushing. Career-wise, you're dead. No one wants to touch you. And it was like that for a long time.
I think everybody, whatever they do in life, they go through dark times. That's fair dues, everyone accepts that. What was your experience?
Slowly but surely I lost everything. Within a year I'd lost my house, lost my dad. My mum ended up in a wheelchair. I was looked after her for a year. I was just, I was drinking too much. Whether it was food, a lot of drugs, this, that, the other. And I went to rehab.
Kavana not so much fell from grace as skydived from the edge of space. From his pop peak in the late 90s, he's now homeless, broke and working in a Manchester cafe.
Hi, how are you?
To put it on paper, where am I at now, it would look like shit. You know, I've not got my own place. My best mate's got a cafe, and I do some shifts there, you know, in the kitchen. Man in a suitcase, I am, yeah.
It all started to go wonky for Cav after he split from his record label and went to live in LA.
I rented a house on Hollywood Boulevard, which was actually Clark Gable's old house. You know, I was the life and soul. I was this brick kid who was suddenly, you know, hanging out at these parties and made a lot of friends. And, you know, with that territory came drugs. For a while, the more you do, the more you need, because you're going down, but you need to come up again. I was running out of money fast. I bought my parents a house when I was like 18. So I had to basically come back to England and tell them that they had to move. You know, I couldn't afford to pay their house anymore. They were basically on the street. They had no money. And that's when I kind of started to get really depressed and just... Slowly but surely I lost everything. I just felt like a complete and utter failure. I would wake up in the morning and go, what next? What next? What have I done to deserve this? And that's when I turned to drink, just to cope. Eventually, my dad really, really got sick, and then he passed away. And it was just me and my mum then, in the house, grieving together, you know. It was the drink that would keep me not so depressed, you know. But of course, drink is a depressant, so the next day I'd feel even worse, so I'd need more to get, you know what I mean? It's a vicious circle.
Nowadays, Cav is a singer for hire, playing small gigs up and down the country.
kind of get used to just packing your case, off to the next place. But you just got to swallow your pride at the end of the day. 'Cause one night you can make more than some people make in a week, so it doesn't matter really, you just got to go on with it.
Today, he's looking forward to entertaining lucky punters in the seaside resort of Great Yarmouth.
I get in the dressing room and I'm like, oh, God, and I see the set list and I'm just thinking, this is not what I want to be singing. I don't want to sing these songs. But for me to go out there and do what I want to do, they're not interested in that either. I'm being hired to entertain punters, to sing songs that they know, cover versions, stuff like that. Half of them don't even know who Kavana is. It's funny because, like, I don't think the other guys in the band realise that this is kind of stuff that I've had to do. It's not something that I want to shout from the rooftops, and I'm certainly not ashamed of it, but you know, you've got Gareth who's doing these big primetime TV shows, you know, Dane does his DJing stuff. You know, I'm here in a holiday park in Yarmouth. How did this happen? You've really got to join in now and really help me. This wasn't part of the plan. I can make you feel good. I need to survive, and this is what I only know how to do, which is to perform, which is to sing and entertain. These are actually more scarier than doing a big show because you can see all the faces. They're all sat there with the pints, and most of them are looking at you like they want to kill you. You know? But to be on a big stage where you can't see the faces, but they're actually loving the nostalgia and loving it, that's why I want to do this.
And as for Cav's private life, there's something he's been keeping under wraps.
It wasn't until I moved to America that, you know, I realised that I was gay. And I was obviously doing my pop stuff. There was nobody that was out. There was nobody. This was before even, you know, Stephen Gately came out. So you just were conditioned not to say it. And then the lie becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just got to keep going with it. Then my career was over, so I didn't have to. But am I attracted to guys? Yeah, I am. Have I had relations with guys? Yeah, I am gay.
Coming up, Gareth's mum reveals the fallout from his dalliance with Katie Price.
I used to go onto the internet and see the reaction of people, and it was absolutely awful. People talking about my son like that.
And Essex boy Kenzie talks things through with another ITV2 viewer's favourite.
It could be massive, it could not.
Before they get down to business as a group, our new man band, Fifth Story, are getting to know each other better by having a drink or two on a night out. And Cav has something to get off his chest with Adam.
If I'm to be honest, one of the main reasons that I left my manager was because he took you on board.
Oh, shit, that's got to be awkward.
No, I will be honest with you.
That's why I didn't speak to you.
No, I kind of knew that. I know it sounds really fucking stupid to say, but for 15 years, I felt really guilty.
But hey, it wasn't your fault.
No,
I mean, you know what?
No, it was.
Well, actually, it was your fault.
I'm a boss.
No, it wasn't your fault at all.
Why did you leave?
But I just felt I was working my balls off, travelling around Asia, doing this, and I felt he was losing interest. And I'd heard that there was this new kid on the scene, this, you know, guy with abs, with blonde hair, this cute-looking guy coming into the office and going for meetings with Nigel and doing this. And I wasn't getting the time of day. I just felt... I was jealous.
You never spoke about it since until now?
Because, honestly, God, I've just always felt so... I don't know if guilt is... but so, like... Was it my fault that you left? And
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. No,
fair enough, I was right.
No, listen,
No,
I was a kid. I was making my own decisions that weren't right. But, I mean, did you ever lose everything? Like, lose...
No, I was lucky in that I said I hit that dark patch before I even got into this business.
As a child, Adam was sent to boarding school where he spent his troubled teen years.
From a really young age, I'd actually wanted to be an actor, but where I went to school, it was kind of like, you know, oh no, it's rugby, or, you know, acting's for, you know, oh no. So I'd forced myself from this really young age to try and be something that I didn't, to please my dad.
The pressures he put on himself resulted in an eating disorder.
For 2 years, made myself sick, from between 1 time a day to up to 15, 20 times a day. To the point that, you know, I'd be throwing up blood. But I didn't care because it was a way of not having to think for a day.
Honest to God, if I'd not woken up one day, if I'd died, I wouldn't have given a shit. Sometimes I even wished I was going to die. And the one thing that I always made me stop thinking that was, how would my mum feel?
And it was actually during the summer holiday one day, my mum, bizarrely, she came back from doing like a weekly shop at a supermarket, and she just walked in the door and said, if you throw all this up, I'll never speak to you again.
After his pop career fizzled out, Adam went back to his celebrated acting career, taking part in the much-talked-about gay kiss scene on Corrie.
What was that?
After a brief but largely clothed attempt to be a Tory MP, Adam showed them what he had down under with a long-running role in New Zealand soap Shortland Street. Until recently, Adam was the chief executive of a cancer charity.
It's like doing your shoes, yeah? You go over and under. You go over and under again to make a knot. Yeah. There you go, man.
Home life-wise, he and fiancée Katie, Daybreak's TV news authority, have just moved into a new house together, which is nice.
She's my world. She's my soulmate, she's my best friend, she's my lover. I genuinely believe that everything up until 2 years ago was just wasting time until I met her. I didn't enjoy any of it first time around. And I didn't enjoy any of it because I was a little foobard in the head, you know, I wasn't quite sure where I was as a person, but more than anything, I've never been able to share it with. And for me, that's what's exciting, is the idea of being able to share this with Katie.
I think the thing is as well, when Adam did the pop career and acting, in a lot of ways it messed with your head, didn't it? And I think it's wonderful if he can do it now and go, well actually, this time round it was great and it's washed away the kind of bad memories that I had before, and I'll be there and I'll be holding his hand and...
I'm training her to scream like a groupie. But in that way, she doesn't like any of my songs. She likes singing like Dane songs.
True! That is so true!
I did get asked in my interview, obviously, about an ex that we have a link with. Yeah. She's your friend.
Mutual friend.
I felt sorry for you on that one.
Really?
Like, just the way it's. I mean, just for what you read, like.
For me, I was very young. You know, I was in this situation. I was seeing it for like 4 months. Then it all started to get sort of really heavy, and you know, I was only 17. You know, so I had to say, right then, look, you know, I'm only young. You know, I'm not. You know, I don't really want to have a sort of, you know, long-term, you know, relationship at this age. You know, and then when she then sold the story, you know, so I just go, oh no, you know, it's all lies, which was the worst thing to do because then she was like,
At the height of his fame, Gareth had 4 #1 singles, sell-out tours and global sales of over 5 million records. But the boy wonder's career went into freefall when he denied his affair with the audacious celebrity steamroller and ex of new bandmate Dane, Katie Price.
The only thing that I thought in my head to do was to say, no, this hasn't ever happened.
He tried to deny the secret affair with mild-mannered Price.
I felt like I had to, simply because I didn't want my family to know about my sex life.
Just one thing. Never trust a pop idol.
I wasn't honest with anybody. My management, my family, my friends, and so they all backed me and were on my side. And then it just got worse.
The affair was something he found too personal to share with his mum Wendy, obviously, or even sisters Jessica and Charlotte.
Yeah, I lied. Yeah. No, but I only sort of lied about it because I didn't, you know, want my family, you know, to read that. Why would I?
Didn't give you a slap, did I?
No.
I just asked if there anybody pregnant. That's all I said. Because I was just sort of like, because I didn't know. Did I, when he came home that day to sort of tell us?
Yeah.
Because we chose to obviously believe it didn't happen, and
I don't understand why he did it, because he was 17.
It seemed to get blown out of proportion, like, so what? Do you know what I mean? It got made bigger, a bigger deal than what it actually
yeah, but that's
was.
because of where Gareth was at that time, with this pop star that every teenage girl loved. I used to go onto the internet and see the reaction of people, and it was absolutely awful. You know, that people were talking about my son like that. People all over the world then didn't like him. Do you think it affected your career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've certainly had to warm people back to me, I think. Not being honest with people. I kind of lost quite a few fans then.
Since his pop peak, he's had a crack at musical theatre, tried dancing on some ice, and has also started his own performing arts academy back home in Bradford. But his personal life is something of a catastrophe.
The worst point of my life was obviously the breakup of my marriage. I haven't been the best of boyfriends, husband, made mistakes, and I'm certainly not proud of that. I don't get to spend every day with my daughter. You know, she's my world, and I'd do anything for her.
Well, you just had a little, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a little one now, 7 months. So, yeah.
What's the name?
Winter.
Really? That's kind of cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
After extremely minor success with Blazing Squad's offshoot Friday Hill, Kenzie went off the rails, larging it with the likes of Jodie Marsh.
Me and Jodie were cool. We had a fun relationship. It didn't last that long, but when I see her now, there's no bad blood. I enjoyed the attention, the female attention. I think I did what any young boy would do in that situation, and a little bit more.
Kenzie stayed in the public eye by appearing on reality TV shows.
It's Kenzie!
The Celebrity Big Brother thing was huge for me. Massive. Still how I'm half remembered now. Oh my God. I did do another TV show after that. I did The Circus. It changed my life because it took me away for 3 months training. And by the end of it, my body was in a shape. I was like, I like this. Mate, I joined the gym and I never looked back. I think people that haven't seen me for a while, yeah, they might be shocked, hopefully in a good way.
The skinny 8-stone kid has transformed into a 13-stone bodybuilder, the size of a modest semi-detached house. He now lives with his girlfriend Frankie and their baby daughter.
Coming from being in a really successful band and touring and that, you kind of come out of that and you think, where am I going to get my buzz from now? Where am I going to get my adrenaline? So if I'm on the stage, albeit whether I'm in pants posing, in fake tan, or I'm performing to thousands of people singing, then, you know, it's just enjoyable to have that adrenaline and have that buzz. I've always felt confident on stage. It never really bothered me that much because we were so young, we were quite naive anyway. It just seemed kind of second nature in the end, but obviously I still DJ now, so it's an element of performing. I said I don't want to dance. I don't want to be dancing around stage when I've got a daughter that's going to grow up and see it. You know what I mean? It's unnecessary.
Kenzie's opened a gym and helps train the likes of Adonis-like Towie veteran Mark Wright.
I mean, I remember when I was young, yous were massive, right? So yous had gone from like playing at Wembley Arena, having thousands of fans, to becoming reasonably normal.
Yeah.
Being owning a gym, being in the public eye is intense sometimes. So you're going from that to normal back to that.
Yeah. I suppose it's going to be weird because we were so young when we did it. But
will you drop out your normality stuff like this?
I don't think I can because I've been up there and been down. I think if we get back up there again, I'll just have to kind of keep this all normal because I'll know better than anyone that you can have it and it can be taken away.
If it doesn't work out, don't work out. But at the end of the day, if you believe in it, I always say, just go for it.
It could be massive, it could not.
Am I getting free tickets to the gigs?
Yes. VIP.
That's what I want to hear.
I've got celeb clients, I've got normal clients, but I'll still treat everyone the same, and I'll bring the best out of everyone, and I feel like I'm good at doing that. I change people's lives.
I've got like goals, and it's to get him drunk and to eat loads of shit.
Well, that started.
Yeah. I don't know about him, yeah. He can't talk anyway. And you two, after hearing that, you've got to have a fight.
Coming up, look, to be honest, Kelly's mum isn't into this eternal reunion business.
I did not want you to go back there because I don't feel that
I can cope to pick up the pieces twice.
Of the 6 groups in this year's big reunion, 5 of them are just days away from meeting up for the first time in over 10 years. Eternal were the golden girl group of the pre-Spice pop landscape, selling 10 million records worldwide.
I know there's 100,000 people out there, and it only sounds like 50.
Even when they lost original member Louise, their career soared to new MOBO award-winning heights.
And the winner is Eternal.
To be presented from the MOBO Awards is just like such a major achievement for us. Thanks very much.
But after the departure of Kelly, the other girls' careers soon took a detour to the pop dumper. Over 15 years after they last performed together, sisters Vernie and Esther anticipate their reunion with Kelly with no little sense of trepidation.
Kelly had requested to record on her own and do her own thing, so that speaks loud volumes for me.
We were told that Kelly wanted to leave the group, and we just felt at that stage, we're just going to help you transition. So then, yeah, it was a case of just asking her to leave at that point.
I was sacked by fax. It wasn't easy, and I think it could have been handled better, definitely.
I wonder what it's going to be like meeting him. I think I'd be a bit nervous, and it's like having to sit down and talk about all that stuff again. And God, it's like deep history, isn't it?
But it'd be nice to get it out. I mean, geez, we've never ever spoken about what's actually gone down. And
yeah,
it'd be nice to actually get our side.
It's about time, isn't it? I suppose.
They had each other, and it was just you. You was just on your own. When you were so low, and you kept calling me every minute. You was calling me, and telling me what was going on, and how you were feeling. It was tough. It was tough because I couldn't be there for you.
We don't do these kind of TVs, do we?
Reality TVs. Yeah. No, but you know, I suppose the upside in doing them is to talk about what's going on, but also to meet Kelly, to have that opportunity to sit down and talk to her. It's like, it's never been done, and I suppose without having done this program, we would never be able to have the opportunity to sit down and speak to her, and hopefully...
Have an open discussion, really.
You all had your issues, every one of you. You know, you, Esther, Vernie, and you were very young. You were very, very young.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you were.
You don't have your parents with you. You know, you girls are left on your own. We, as parents, we trusted you in the hands of management. And I don't think they did a very good job. You know, we've not seen each other for over 15 years. The whole anxiety of meetings, like, are you going to even sleep the night before? But
do you know what? I'm pretty sure she's going to be nervous meeting us anyway, because there's been so much said. Is she going to actually say some of these things to our face? That would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be awkward.
Put your finger on it. Did you say that? Why did you say that?
When this opportunity first came about, and I remember thinking, there's just no way. There's no way I would do it. The fear far outweighed what could have been positive, you know, a positive thing to do.
Personally, I didn't want you to go back there. I did not want you to go back there, because I don't feel that I can cope to pick up the pieces twice. I do hope that they have learned their lesson and that they could bury the past.
It's like starting fresh, really, isn't it? A new relationship.
Next time, the hand of destiny gently fondles our eternal reunitees. It's time to face the music and each other.
Today is D-Day.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Bit anxious.
One of the things you did say was, you're only going to stay for the money. I don't know if you just thought that would really get me.
3T reveal how being a Jackson could sometimes be bad.
We don't want to play your song. We don't want to play your video. We want to wait for the outcome of the Michael Jackson trial. There's some cruel people that have tried to tarnish him and ended up affecting our career.
And Girlthing have a frank exchange of views.
You went to hit Anika, so I hit you. I was on. That's what I was. Yeah, because I knocked you on the floor because you went to hit Anika.
Right then, after Breck, Keith Lemon is back with a massive Saturday night takeaway flavoured version of Celebrity Juice. He's got the boys, Ant and Dec, all to himself, and knowing Keith, he's going to make them squirm. Do not move a muscle.